Hey, this is James Dean with James Dean Mountain Real Estate, Keller Williams Client's Choice. I'm here with Jeremiah, the owner of Peak Sun Tanning here in Woodland Park. One of the small business owners that we have out here, and Jeremiah's got a really cool story about why he started this place off, but we're going to be featuring this in this month's Community Spotlight. So,
cool.
Jeremiah,
Yeah.
give us the story. Why did you start a tanning bed salon?
Well, with the tanning, ultimately we came to tanning because of how we used tanning growing up. My wife and I were born and raised in Alaska, working during the winter time. You know, it gets really cold. It gets really depressing in the middle of the dark and everything else. And so go ahead and, laying in a tanning bed really helps out with just warming your body ultimately to the core. Mm-hmm. It just helps a lot with vitamin D replacement. It helps out with just making yourself feel more relaxed and just ease of everything that's going on around you. It gives a lot of people a lot of time to just have a little bit of time to themselves, whether it is just laying in a bed or just getting into something that they can do just by themselves for just a couple minutes.
And you started off, you were in the mine for a while, so you were, before opening this job up, so you were out of the sunlight quite a bit, just inside all the time too, so you were feeling that need again.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like you said, when we're working inside, especially when we're in Alaska, if a garage door is open, you can see it was daylight, but you came to work in the dark and you're going home in the dark, and it happens here too, because average shift is 12 and a half hours. Most people still drive an hour there and an hour home, so anywhere between 14 and a half, 15 hours a day, and it's rough. And after 10 years of doing that, it was time to just do my own thing.
Yeah, so. And I think that really pings in on a lot of people too. My wife, actually, before I came and actually started tanning here, my wife told me that exact story that you just told me there, and I was like, that's a great idea. I never thought of that, because we'd be in prior military station in Hawaii, all over the place, and then in the winter months here specifically, you end up doing that job. You're sitting at a desk or whatever. You go in, it's kind of dark outside, and when you leave, it's already dark at 4:30. You're leaving at 5. It's dark. So.
And what a big thing about where I say it heats you to the core is in like jobs like mining, where we're working outside a lot, and it's 20, 30 below. It's not that aggressive so much here all the time, but it still gets 20 below, and it's just at the end of the day, you're still frozen. You're still cold, and the way that these beds feel, just as far as they warm you up, it brings you back a little bit.
Yeah.
And so.
And I could vouch for that for sure. So especially when it's cool out, you come in and do a session and you feel like you can go outside in a short sleeve shirt. You feel great because your core is all warmed up.
Yeah.
So speaking of the beds, what kind of beds do you guys have here?
We actually partner with a company called ProSun. They're based out of Florida. We have all of their beds specifically. We have their stand-up bed. We have 2 of their lay-down beds of different levels. We also have their water jet massage table, which is called the Aquafrixio, and also their red light therapy full body bed. And so with all that, we got the package straight from them. They are a US based company. And then just their design and their overall form of the beds we really liked, as far as them being updated versus being some companies that are still blocked out. They're kind of chunky, and they don't look very up to date. And so this is what really sold us on this company, making it look nice and clean.
Yeah, and I know you've spent a lot of time and money to make sure there is quality beds in here, not just these cheap beds that you'd see somebody have at their home or anything. These are good quality beds.
They are commercial grade. They're all 100% designed for 220 power, and so I have 220 ran to every room, specifically to each bed itself, to where they're able to handle continuous power to them without them shorting out and having issues. Whereas if you were to have just a commercial grade or a home grade, just a basic one, where it runs off of 120 power, they can't really handle as much continuous use or abuse, some would say, where you're constantly running equipment. It just doesn't last without the proper setup.
Right. And it's something that I know was always kind of confusing to me until I started learning more about it, the red light bed. Talk about what that does, because I think a lot of folks haven't really seen that before or really understand what that does.
So what I really got to point out with that is that we are not we're not a medical facility, so our bed's not medical grade. Now, if you're going to go to the doctor, and they're going to have red light therapy setups that are much stronger in wavelength than what we're technically allowed to have. And so what we're running is a 4800 wavelength on our red light, which is really meant for just helping penetrate the skin up to 3 millimeters. What that is doing is taking that top 3 millimeters of your skin and helping your body release dead skin cells, release scars, or the skin cells that are holding on to scars where you can recover. Is helping with collagen release and helping boost like just natural regrowth of your skin itself. It's very safe. It's non-intrusive. There's no UV to it. You're not going to sit there and burn yourself. Yes, the bed still gets warm like a tanning bed, but it's not. I mean, they're bulbs still, and so they're going to have some warmth to them. But it's very comfortable. It's very good for the skin. It's not something that you're going to change overnight, though. What I like to reference is, just eating one salad is not going to change your entire diet, not going to change your body. It's something you got to do repeatedly every day or every other day as much as you can. And generally 15-minute increments is pretty is pretty safe as far as what has been proven to where your body can actually absorb and utilize on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating new health add that has to it too.
It's been around for quite a long time. From what I've read, where it really started was with NASA and providing actual light exposure that the sun naturally would for plants and growing plants in space for vegetables and everything else.
That's pretty cool.
And then it just kind of grew and more and more research came to seeing how it actually helps the human body too.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, and you guys got different packages and stuff like that.
We have multiple packages. Everything's based off of different levels of the beds, such as our entry-level bed, which is a level 2. It's a 15-minute max bed. I reference this bed as being very forgiving, whereas the bed gets warm, it's nice and comfortable, but it's not, the bulbs intensities aren't so much to the point to where they're just going to sit there and absolutely burn you. They're a really good entry-level bed and bulbs to where if you are sensitive, if you do burn pretty easily in the sun, if your skin kind of breaks out in hives sometimes, this bed specifically is one that will get you in and allow you to actually build up that base layer to where you can move up to a higher level bed to get color faster. And then we also have a level 3, which is a 12-minute bed. It's same style bed itself, just a bit more intense bulbs. And then we have our stand-up, which is just what I like to tell people. It's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
It's got 10 more bulbs than our laydown beds, and it's also got every single bulb, and it's 160 watts. So it's relatively aggressive.
Yeah.
And so that's one that we is used pretty often still, but we like to start people at a lower time to where that's definitely one where I'll start people off that don't have really much of a base tan at like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it can get pretty intense.
Yeah.
And so
I've been in that one. It can get pretty hot.
Yeah.
And you guys do a great job cleaning and everything afterwards also. Yeah. And after every use, you guys are in there cleaning.
Between every use, the bed is being wiped down for sure.
Yeah.
And then, we do our own cleaning. We don't make people clean their own beds and clean up after themselves, which is what a lot of places do. And so we take that on.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very clean facility. Always excellent customer service whenever we come in. So, and it's right down here just before you get into downtown Woodland Park, almost right before you get to McDonald's, going westbound on I-24 or Highway 24, not I-24. Thank God it's not an interstate out there. Yeah, feels like it some days though. So check out Peak Sun Tanning, guys. Awesome place, great local business. Definitely a place to get that nice warm feeling in the wintertime. Great in the summertime too. Easy to get to. Come check it out. Great place.